Alright, I have the bathrooms kind of finished here. They're not too tough to do. I'll show you what I did with them. I do have an elevation tag in here, and we placed them in the kitchen, so you should know how to do that. By touching that square, I can hit the check marks and turn different views of the tag on. Same thing here, and we really only need one view. I placed a stool or a water closet in them. It's a water closet flush tank, private, so it's for a home. I'll show you where I picked those up. Here's a tub, a 5-foot tub, and I use the 3D. There are some 2D tubs and some 2D stools. Don't use the 2D, use the 3D, otherwise they won't show up in the elevation. This is supposed to be a tub, but I took a shower, I think it was a 4-foot shower, and I made it 5 foot and placed it in there. In case you wanted to put a shower in the master, you can do that. That's a shower with a seat in it. These are vanities with a double door. This is 42 inches. This one is 48 inches. And I got those in the base cabinets. And I put those in so they show up as a dotted line. I would probably go back here and find in the cabinets, let's see, a countertop. I can drag that out there, put in 2 countertops. I can drag this countertop up here, make sure I'm using the arrow key, I'm sliding it down so the back splashes out. I can just grab this and pull it down. I did switch the door in my bathroom. It was a 32-inch door, and I changed it to a 30-inch LH and changed the number to 9. It matches this door over here. I just wanted a couple more inches here between the door and the countertop. I could put one of these in with a hole in it, I guess. I could put one in with a hole, a countertop. We can put a sink on there. This can be rotated from here to here. Set it over there, and I need to pull the backsplash out of the wall. See, it's out of the wall. I can grab this, slide it down. There are some under the insert. If I go to load family, go to plumbing, fixtures, go to the sinks, we can get sink islands. I will have to go find one and maybe put it up. Let's try one other place. Equipment, no. I don't like the sinks they have here. I'll have to find one and put it up on the resources. Those would be too big. So I'll get you one and put it up there. But if I go and look at the elevations here, I'm looking at this stool, and one of the things I watch on this is by code you're supposed to have a minimum of 15 inches from the center of the stool to the tub, from the center of the stool to here. So we've got plenty of room. It should be centered 15 inches on each side minimum. So you could put that wherever you want to. You have room for a toilet paper dispenser. And I'm going to have to lower this. The reason being that the vanities are shorter than kitchen countertops. So this went in at a kitchen countertop height. So I lowered that. And if I go up here to the first floor, I'm going to have the same thing occur right here. And you could use the align tool also. You could say to this edge, align that, and it would pop it right down there. So we've got our stuff placed in there. I guess the next thing to do would be to finish dimensioning this first floor. So if I go up to annotate, linear, I'd start looking at this wall, this wall, this wall. I'm trying to go all the way across the structure here. Oops, it didn't do the last one. We can work with that. It's 3 foot 2 inches for the hallway. It's actually going to be 3 foot 1 when the sheetrock's on there. I'm going to do a linear dimension from here to here. For some reason it didn't take that. So I have all those walls spaced out. I would need probably a dimension from here to either the inside or the outside of that and here. So I'm going to need a dimension from here to here. Might have been more efficient to pull these down here like that. That would look better. I'm going to need some dimensions. I'm going to go from here. This is going to be somewhat redundant, but it hits the 2x4 wall instead of the 2x6 wall. And I can get spacing on these walls. I'm going to need, if we do it out here on the garage, we can go from here to here. And I like to have the hallway widths. So that's 3 foot 8 3/4. We could make that hallway narrower if we wanted to. So this room could actually be longer, but I think that's the correct size. I'm going to need a measurement from here to see how far that sticks out past the wall. I do have the 6 foot 3 up here. I'm going to need a dimension from here. If you did something like this, you didn't have to. I'm going to need to know how far this is. And I'm going to put it up. In this instance, it's legal for a dimension line to cross a dimension line. I would take this guy and probably pull him off like that, so he's not sitting in the middle of that line. Does kind of get confusing there, but we probably would have, somebody might want to know what this overall length was, so you could slide that out there. I wish they'd let you take this whole thing and slide it over, but they don't. Trying to think, do I need anything else? That should locate everything inside that isn't located outside. Oh, I need some down the hallway here. One more row. Linear. Need to go from here to here. I can place that. However, it looks a little bit better. I can take this 9 and slide it over and kind of out of the way. And pull that up to there. Whoops, didn't take. That's better. I like them with a little gap. I think that does it. These dimensions here, if we wanted to, we could run them inside. Probably wouldn't hurt to have an overall dimension on that also. We do have some tags, some labels to put on there. but we're getting close to having most of that annotation done. So I'm going to save this and see if you folks can get caught up to here.